In a heartbreaking update out of West Bloomfield, the three siblings who passed away in a tragic house fire on February 2nd, there's new information from the ongoing investigation that reveals the children's parents had installed locks and windows on the front door to keep one child who is nonverbal and autistic safe from wandering, a behavior that they say were advised by experts. Fire marshal reported that no working smoke alarms were found in the home. Investigations are ongoing, and officials are urging the public to check their smoke alarms and create exit plans for their family as well. So to give us a little bit more context in regards to actually parenting and caregiving for children with autism, join us right here live on The Splash from the Autism Alliance of Michigan. Here we have Dr. Colleen Allen. Thank you for being here, Doctor.
Certainly. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so first and foremost, we want to be extremely sensitive to this specific situation, but we just want to speak overall and be preemptive as well. Knowing the situation at hand, are there any specific strategies that you would recommend for parents or caregivers to ensure the safety of children with autism, particularly those prone to wandering?
Certainly. And again, happy to be here and sharing some of this important information. So what we would recommend is really a three-pronged approach to addressing safety, especially for all children with autism, but especially those that are known to wander, of which could be upwards of 40% of the population. First and foremost, for a child who wanders, you want to explore whether a tracking device of some sort could be helpful for that child. Not every child with autism will benefit for lots of reasons, some behaviorally, some sensory, just, won't wear the lanyard, won't wear, a tag on their clothes. But that is the first question would be, is this a child appropriate for some type of GPS tracking devices? And here at the Autism Alliance, we actually fundraise and provide scholarships for families. So please contact us if your child wanders and you think they could benefit from a tracking device. Second is to create a unique behavior safety plan for that child. And that is done in concert with a professional who can really do the analysis around the types of behaviors, what the unique skills are that may be needed to keep a child safe. So that's really working directly with the family and the child. And then the third prong to this, sort of multi-strategic approach is working with community. So that is local police and fire on how they respond to children with autism and emergencies in the community. And, we've done a lot of training here at Autism Alliance. We provide to first responders on a regular basis. But we also want that family to connect with local police, to connect with local fire, so that when the address comes up in an emergency, there's a trigger for this is a family who has a child with autism living in the home. And so those are really the three best preventative approaches that may or may not have changed the outcome for this family. And I want to just be really careful. I appreciate your comments about being sensitive, because there's plenty of scenarios where all three of those are in place and a family still has to lock a child into a home or into a room for their safety. It is truly a risk-benefit scenario. And for children who are very severely impacted, many of whom are nonverbal, unfortunately, the locks are the last resort measure to keep that individual safe.
Right.
And so these are really unique, difficult decisions families make. Yeah. So I want to be careful with just giving broad advice and
Right.
assuming somebody did or didn't do the right thing.
Understood. And I respect that as well. And with me right here live on the Splash, by the way, from the Autism Alliance of Michigan, Dr. Colleen Allen, just speaking on safety protocols, best tips and practices when caregiving or parenting a child with autism. Now, I do just, you mentioned briefly, and I don't want to hold up too much more of your time, you mentioned briefly emergency teams, emergency departments, and how they can kind of respond to this. You mentioned the family reaching out to them, but what about from their angle specifically? Are there any recommendations for training or things that you feel like they could do to possibly better equip themselves to handle situations with children with autism?
Absolutely. So our training is called Michigan Autism Safety Training, or MAST. And we've trained almost 20,000 first responders and other community workers over the past several years. So we're well versed in working with police officers and firemen and security officers and even TSA at the airport. Around, basic information. We always say with autism, a little bit of knowledge goes a long way. These are the behaviors that you can expect very broadly. Here are some basic communication strategies. Here are some things about the behavior and the sensory needs or profiles of people with autism, so that on approach or in those situations, there's at least a little bit of background on how those encounters could look. And so we would highly recommend contacting us. And we're statewide. We've done these trainings all over Michigan to contact us. And we can set up trainings that could work for individual communities.
That's good to know. That's good to know that you are a resource and statewide as well, and you've been making a difference with that. Hey, we want to thank you so much for your time. Just lastly, before we let you go, the Autism Alliance of Michigan, just give some general overview of what that does and how you can help people in West Bloomfield.
Thank you. Yes. So as I said, we're a professional statewide organization. We're serving families. We serve the community through trainings, advocacy, connecting individuals and families into the services and the supports that they need through professional guidance. And you can contact us, Autism Alliance of Michigan.org. It's our full name, .org. And we're happy to help individuals. And please, if you need a GPS, contact us. We fundraise, and it's to basically cover the cost of the device and service for up to a year.
Thank you. Thank you so much again for your time and your information. Once again, from the Autism Alliance of Michigan, Dr. Colleen Allen, we appreciate you.
Thank you so much.